Thursday, August 22, 2024. Welcome to the African Press Review on Global LTV. We begin in Nigeria with the Vanguard newspaper. The paper focuses on the ongoing fuel crisis in Nigeria as it titles, "Petrol scarcity worsens as marketers load at 780 naira per litre." The paper goes further to say transport fare rise by over 200% as transporters lament impact on business. You can read the full story on page 20 of the Vanguard newspaper. Still in Nigeria, now let's take you to the Daily Times. Focuses on a statement by Atiku. The former presidential candidate says Nigeria's President Tinubu and family has mortgaged the future of Nigerians. The paper goes further to say Nigeria rapidly transforming into a government of Tinubu, by Tinubu and for Tinubu. You can read more on page 2 of the Daily Times newspaper. Away from Nigeria, now let's take you to Tanzania. The Citizen newspaper titles, "The East African Community Single Currency Now Pushed to 2031. The decision comes despite progress made on several fronts, including the establishment of the East African Payment System and the development of legal instruments for the monetary union." The paper goes further to say key challenges remain, such as disagreements over the host country for the East African Monetary Institute and the inability of member states to meet the necessary macroeconomic convergence criteria. You can read the full story on page 3 of the Citizen newspaper. Now let's head over to Uganda, where the Daily Monitor newspaper throws more light on the migration crisis the country is facing. The paper titles, "Migration Paradox. About half of Ugandans have thought of going to work abroad." 42%, which is more than 4 in 10 Ugandans, say they have contemplated the possibility of leaving the country. Majority of this group is the most educated, which comprises 59%, with post-secondary education and 51% aged 18 to 35 years old. The paper goes further to say a new survey shows Ugandans remain welcoming to foreigners but want controls imposed, while the more educated want to leave the country for greener pastures abroad. You can read more on pages 6 and 7 of Uganda's Daily Monitor. From Uganda, ladies and gentlemen, now let's go to Ghana, where the Chronicle newspaper focuses on the ongoing tussle between the Director General of the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation and the country's sports minister. The paper titles, "The $3 million African Games cash controversy, GBC boss fires, minister responds." The paper goes further to question if Professor Alassane will hit back again. You can read more on pages 2, 3 and 5 of the Chronicle newspaper. Still in Ghana, the Daily Guide newspaper titles, "IGP dispels militia training rumors." The paper says the Ghana Police Service has categorically denied allegations regarding the training of militiamen in Kwahu in the eastern region in preparation for the upcoming 2024 general election. You can read the full story on page 3 of the Daily Guide newspaper. Ladies and gentlemen, now let's end this press review with the Horizon newspaper in Cameroon. The Horizon newspaper titles, "As Central Africa Think Tank Forum 2024 opens in Yaoundé, target is to amplify individual voices to develop the region." You can read more on the opening ceremony of the Africa Think Tank Forum on page 12 of this edition of the Horizon newspaper. The Horizon newspaper also focuses on the Glencore scandal, saying Akere Muna has challenged the Cameroonian government to hand over dossier to him to treat at no cost. Details on page 2 of the Horizon newspaper. We have come to the end of this edition of the African Press Review. Stay tuned to LTV.